And so
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Alex and Matt here for round number 3 of 6 Swiss rounds, and we're already off to a blistering start. We got Judah on Dimir Frog against Ben on Hammer. Both players are 2-0, and they were really playing fast. Holy smokes. But thank you all so much for joining us. All right, Matt. What is this Hammer deck, and why is it 2-0 at an RCQ?
Yeah, this hammer deck is crazy. So everyone thought when we need the life totals here.
Yeah.
Everyone thought that when Mox Opal was unbanned, Hammer would come back, and it didn't really happen. People tried it; it was okay, but it never really caught on the same way that it had when it was a really popular deck. And then Tarkir Dragonstorm rolled around, and we get this really busted card in the form of Corey Steelcutter. And so we have a lot of staying power with that as a way to consistently generate creatures. And then we also have another really cool one here, which is Dragonfire Blade. If you want to get that one on the screen, I'm sure. This is another Tarkir Dragonstorm card, and it gives +2/+2 and hexproof from monocolor. So as we were just talking about, this is the more recent version of protection, which basically says it cannot be targeted by monocolored spells and abilities. And so what it does against most decks in Modern is it says you can't kill this creature anymore because you can't target it, because most of our removal spells are 1 mana and 1 color. So that's one angle. That's one thing that the Hammer deck is. Instead of playing protection spells, you get this powerful equipment that goes along with your plan. And then the other thing going on here that's kind of interesting is we're playing an Assassin's Creed card. So it's Cassandra with a K. Cassandra Eaglebearer. And what Cassandra does is she searches up the Spear of Leonidas out of your deck.
Bro, what?
So
we are lost in Ben. You are lost in the sauce right now.
Yeah, this deck is really crazy. It's basically think Hammer, but way more grindy. And it still has the ability though to kill really fast. Right, you still are Hammer time. We still do have Colossus Hammer in the deck. But it's doing this weird stuff with Cassandra, with the Spear of Leonidas, and with these really sweet Tarkir Dragonstorm cards. So what Ben's got going on here, he's trying to play the Steelcutter game right now. He's generating monks, getting in with prowess.
Because remember, see?
Yeah.
A card, a respectable boomer card right there. I gotta say, Ben is always on the cutting edge when it comes to deck choice.
Yes. So this deck, Aspiring Spike, big Magic Modern streamer, has been working on it in the last week or two, and I know Ben is a big fan. And
oh yeah,
that is where that came from. So it looks like Judah tried to dismember a Stoneforge Mystic, but Ben flashed in this Dragonfire Blade.
Gave it protection.
Gave it hexproof, and so the Stoneforge lived. And there is a lot of power and toughness on Ben's side of the table. Notably, Kaido
monocolored
is not monocolored, so the Stoneforge is stun. But there is nothing stopping Ben from moving that equipment onto one of those monk tokens next turn if he wants to keep attacking.
Yeah.
Ben has been really good at drawing baubles. There's the Cassandra. Yeah, I think Judah very understandably needs to read this card, because I think even if you were really paying attention to Modern, this card basically didn't exist until this week. But yeah, it's going to go get that Spear of Leonidas, and then it puts it into play. And since Ben does have Sigarda's Aid, it's going to immediately attach to one of his creatures.
Matt, what are you talking about? This card was printed in 2024. That's like 10 years ago in modern speak.
Yeah, you're right, but I can't think of a single Assassin's Creed card that's seen a lot of play.
Basim is the only one I can
Basim,
really think
yeah,
of.
that's really it.
Yeah.
And so, but now just we have this new collection of cards, and it's really powerful, right? Like the hammer deck has always had this. Well, if I just draw well, I'll kill you on turn 2. And now this new variation of it, you still have those really fast kills, but all the staying power too, right? Because Cassandra can draw cards. Corey Steelcutter makes a bunch of creatures. There's a lot to like here.
I like this art. This showcase version. It's cool. Probably a texture foil. I don't know.
Knowing Ben, probably.
Yeah, he always has the most premium versions.
Yeah. So on Judah's side of things, we've got the Psychic Power, we've got the Kaito, pretty standard Dimir frog stuff. But right now, it is just kind of getting overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's who would win?
And now we're getting to the
an army of bladed up assassins or one little frog.
Yep. Right. We're getting to the awkward part of any modern game where players have to do combat math. And if you play modern, you're really not used to doing combat math.
This is where you just Supreme Verdict and you keep going, you know?
Uh-huh. Yeah. You can't remember the last time I've seen that card cast in modern.
I know.
Yeah. Super lethal here with all the trample from Ben's creatures, so Judah's gonna scoop him up. And
I like how Ben's like, obviously you're dead here. Like, all right, let's kick it back to the sideboard. All right, so let's take a look at these sideboards. Speaking of, all right, Consign to Memory, probably the most sideboarded card in Modern right now. If I had to take a guess, I was a betting man, but so we've got engineered explosives. Harbinger of the Seas as a 3 of. Jace the Mind Sculptor. Now that is a Magic the Gathering card, folks.
That's a good one.
Nile Spellbomb, Stern Scolding, both as 2 ofs. Subtlety and Toxic Deluge. I can imagine Toxic Deluge is coming in.
Yeah, so this is the difficult part here for Judah as the frog player is you could argue that 10 of these cards should come in.
Yeah.
Consigns are pretty good. There's a lot of colorless cards in Ben's deck. There's some really relevant triggered abilities.
Oh, yeah.
Engineered Explosives, extremely powerful. Picks off those non-creature permanents. Stern Scolding, I think, counters every creature in Ben's deck. Subtlety, like sometimes you need free spells, and Toxic's just another sweeper. Like lots of really good stuff there. It's going to be difficult for Judah to decide, what to bring in versus what to cut. Yeah. But lots of really good options, which is a nice place to be. Ben's side of things, he's got Draneth Magistrate, Magus of the Moon, Soulless Jailer. None of those are coming in. Pithing Needle, probably not. Soul Guide Lantern is a maybe. Welding Jar is a maybe. 2 Portable Holes, which those I wouldn't be surprised to see those as a way to take Psychic Frog off the table. And then he's also got 3 Flare of Fortitude. That is pretty good against like Pyroclasm.
That's the white one, right?
Yes, that's the white flare. It gives you sack a creature, and it gives your all of your creatures indestructible till end of turn. It's worse against Toxic Deluge, and so it wouldn't. I could see him bringing it in, but I also don't know if he needs it. Right? Like he's not. Ben plays enough Modern to know that the person playing Frog, if they have a sweeper, it's going to be Toxic, and this card does not work against Toxic Deluge. So maybe he brings in 1 or 2 for Engineered Explosives, but I don't think he's bringing in all 3 here.
Yeah, Ben definitely one of the most plugged into Modern players we have. That's a regular up here. So I completely agree. If he thinks that, or if he sees the deck that could possibly be playing the Toxic Deluge, probably peg it correctly. But all right, let's get back down to the battlefield. We're already going
Thoughtseize taking Esper Sentinel. That's a card that we have not seen much of recently.
Yeah. Talk about a card that fell off the world after, what, MH3 dropped, basically?
Yep. It is very good against this Frog deck, though, with all those cheap instants and sorceries, so not surprising to take it. I think it was also Ben's only turn 1 play, so pretty good there, too. Yeah, and so it's a little awkward always to play the card you just drew after a Thoughtseize, but Ben's other 2 lands were Sunbaked Canyons, and you'd rather not take that damage.
Yeah. Down to 17 off the fetch.
Okay, so Judah fetching basics here. It is possible that they would have brought in they have Harbinger this season on their board. And so if they're expecting Ben to have Urza Saga in his deck, or in this case, just a bunch of non-basic lands, Harbinger can turn off a lot of his cards. And this fetching basic swamp and basic island leads me to think that, well, the swamp in particular, those cards are in Judah's deck right now. So second Thoughtseize took, I think that's a Stoneforge Mystic.
That's Stoneforge, yep.
Here's another Stoneforge going into play.
Stoneforge back in action in Modern.
Stoneforge for a Steel Cutter is awesome. I'm in for that. And Judah just passes back after playing a land. So I think Ben has all 2 mana cards in hand, except for his Unknown. So I think he's choosing here to hold back the Steel Cutter in the hopes of trying to trigger it next turn.
Judah gonna fetch here?
Yeah, and it's also possible he's just leaving up the Stoneforge and gonna cheat it in play that way, so it doesn't get countered. So a question in chat here, are RCQ's open deck list? So during the Swiss rounds, we are not open deck list, but once we get to top 8, we will be.
Oh, is that what Zeke said today?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I know it used to be closed deck list all the way through, but in our most recent RCQ, it was open deck list in top 8. So
yeah, and I think the reason for that is, and it's been a pretty popular decision, is for these players who are playing on stream right now, if somebody wanted to, they could go back and watch the VOD if they had made top 8 to see what cards are in their deck, like their opponents could, and so this kind of levels the playing field a little bit. So we had to see a frog from Judah, and on Ben's side, oh yeah, that spell snare, real good.
It still triggers Corey though.
Yeah, and Ben also had the Sigarda's Aid, so I mean Ben's still looking pretty good here. He's got a lot of board presence, and with this Sigarda's Aid in play, he can flash in an equipment mid-combat to potentially kill the frog. So Judah discards Sink into Stupor.
Still 4 damage. I'll take a pain. I'm gonna try to cast Hammer.
What is this?
Colossus Hammer.
Oh, okay.
The classic flash in hammer. That frog is flat.
Yeah.
So it's a 1, 2, 3, 13. Yeah, it has trample. Yeah, frog looks. Okay, so you'll take 10.
Take 10 down to 4 goes Judah. Jeez, that's the second time today we've seen somebody get their life total reduced by 10.
Sunforge and Woodcutter in.
And I think Judah just scooped it up there.
Yep.
So that was a quick match there from Ben, showing off the power of this hammer deck. Really, really good stuff from Ben there, showing that he can pick up a new deck, learn it quickly, and play to the best of his ability. And there is a lot of value, too, in playing something that's a little bit unknown.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure our frog player, probably very proficient, but when you play against something you're unfamiliar with, it can be tough.
Absolutely, and obviously, Cassandra, not not a known quantity, at least yet, in the modern format. Well, that was a quick match. Thank you all so much. We'll be back for round 4 here coming up. We've got 6 rounds of Swiss and then a top 8, so don't go anywhere if you're watching on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell icon, set it to all. Hit up impactgamingcenter.gg for all of your Magic the Gathering needs. We will have a backup match from a previous FNM, so don't go anywhere. You still have something to watch during the intermission, but thank you all so much. And until the next time, for Matt, I'm Alex. Catch you on the flippy flop. Adios.